Today we're going to look at the amazing Bazi Astrology of poet, activist, amazing talent, Andrea Gibson, who just died on July 14th of this year, 2025. So welcome, my name is Lydia Griffith, and this is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I do like to read the charts of famous people. I think it helps us to better understand our own lives and our own astrology. So welcome again. I am in Sedona in the woods on a grand adventure cross country. And as a lifelong poet myself, I discovered Andrea Gibson's, her poetry way late in her life. And much like Mary Oliver, I feel like I missed an opportunity to really enjoy her in her life. But the legacy that she's left behind is amazing. And the astrology explains so much of this journey. So welcome again. If this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, like, hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. I have big changes coming to the channel this fall. So I'm halfway through this trip, a little more than halfway through, and then I will start to really put a lot of changes in place in earnest. So let's look at Andrea Gibson's Bazi Chinese Astrology, remembering, and I love that I'm outside, which is, I can honestly say, my happy place. I have tried to get as far away from human noise as possible, which I can tell you is very hard to do. We are a loud thing. You may also hear the sounds of acorn woodpeckers, crows, and other birds in this video. So, sorry, not sorry. This is as raw as footage can get. Andrea was born August 13th, 1975, and we adjust her birth time for daylight savings to 7 a.m. Her 4 pillars, her year is Yin Wood Rabbit, month of Yang Wood Monkey, day of Yin Metal Rabbit. So they were a double rabbit, year and day. And then the hour of Yang Water Dragon, of course, a Yang Water Dragon for the hour. And I will explain all of this as we journey through the story, which really is what our astrology is, whether it's the Western or the Eastern. Our astrology is the story of our life, and it helps us, I think, not only to navigate this life, but when we get sick and when we die, we can also recognize all the reasons why for that, because some of us just aren't meant to be in this dimension for very long, but long enough to leave a legacy that does something to our world. And her poetry did something and is going to continue to do something as far as inspiring others and lifting others up. If you've not heard their poetry, their jam sessions, they were a force. So let's look at this. I really appreciate with Bazi Astrology, with the 5 elements, taking this 4 pillars and breaking it into a landscape. So the landscape of Andrea Gibson is that a Yin Wood Rabbit year is really, it's Yin Wood doubled. So it's like a garden. From the garden, we go into the month where we have Yang Wood Monkey. The monkey is Yang metal. So this is a big sculpture in this garden, and the Yang Wood is a big tree. Then Andrea is Yin Metal Rabbit. This is a spark, a bright, shiny thing in a garden. So you've got garden, and then you have a sculpture with a tree, and then there's more garden with something sparkling here, like a wind chime. The hour as yang water dragon is a waterfall falling down over rocks, and within the rocks bubbles more water and little flowers and plants. It is in and of itself a radiant landscape. And yet, there is no real flow to this chart because you have double wood and then wood with metal. So the wood is off isolated. The wood is sitting, or the metal of the monkey month is sitting there. And it's almost like a threat to all of this wood in their chart. The yang water of the hour is flowing down, again, like a waterfall to nourish the rabbit wood of their day master. But there is no real flow here. And so with that, we begin to look at what patterns are happening. For instance, they're born in the month of August, so that's the monkey, yang metal, and they are born on the day of yin metal. So both the pattern and the day master is metal element. That can be a great thing if it's strong, a precarious thing if it's weak. So when we look at the 5 elements, we really want to see somewhere between 15 and 25% of each element. We have what nourishes them, earth, weak at 10%. Their own element of metal, balanced at 22%, but considered weak because there isn't enough earth sustaining them. What metal creates is water. That's 18% balanced. So there's a nice energy of creation, manifestation happening here. And then wood is the dominant element here, 43%, with no fire at all. So this landscape I was illustrating for you, there is no sun. And in fact, I began to see the yin metal of Andrea's day master more as a star, a sliver of moon, something luminous, but not strong. There is no sun in this garden. The other thing to recognize is that this is a Ren pattern. It's a hidden blade. We saw this viscerally, so exact in Frida Kahlo's story, that she had this hidden blade and was impaled. Now, there was a period of time, early in the 2000s, I believe, when Andrea was battling Lyme's disease. I have 2 dear friends, one who is pretty much paralyzed by the effects of Lyme disease. And they described their blood like shattered glass. And I thought to myself, what an interesting thing, given that they have no fire, which is the circulation of blood in their chart. And how an absence of an element when we have an illness, for instance, like Lyme's disease, that manifests in such a rage, right? So the Ren pattern, when we have this, it's kind of like a hidden pocket knife, a hidden surgery, a hidden illness. It is not a positive thing, is what I'm saying. I think you get that. All right. There is also, with the dragon, and their 2 rabbits forms a semi-wood trio that harms Earth. So there is a lot of focus on what Andrea controlled and manifested and created. But what was strengthening her was impaired. So you see how we have these pieces that are all illustrating what was working against them. This is a fake follow wealth chart because there is no full wood trio here. Yeah, it is 43% wood, is a lot of wood energy, which means that her metal, trying to control that wood, it's like a constant drain. It's such a heavy thing. So there is also to recognize that this year is a semi-fire penalty with the snake and their month of the monkey. And this is amplifying anything that is already impaired. So if you're already sick, this is going to be that thing that makes it even worse. If you're in a relationship that's falling apart, it's going to really collapse. If you're in a job in which you've been stressed and you're barely holding on, it's that year when the job you can't do it anymore. The penalty can be that thing that just pushes you past the edge into all the things, right? So the luck cycle that happened in 2014 to 2024, and we all go through these periods, was interesting. This was a Yang Earth rat. Now, interesting because the Yang Earth is a positive, right? Yay, we want that reinforcement for their Bazi, for their metal. But the rat formed with the monkey and the dragon a full water trio, in addition to and that's a traditional trio, and then there's a semi-seasonal water trio with the ox of the year that they were diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So it was like there was already an ocean of water, and now it's even more. So the earth coming in is like, yay, we've got earth, this element that we really need, and then boom, it's washed away. There's just too much water. Ovarian cancer, as we all know, is in the reproductive system, which is the water element. And there's no fire. Cancer tends to bloom when a chart is too hot and dry or too wet and cold, which is the case that we have at this time in their life. So let's jump back to their hour, because Andrea's poetry is really the voice that they left behind. I highly recommend that you listen to their reels and their posts. And there's a movie documentary I'm trying to find where to stream it. Hard to do when you're on the road. Anyway, but dig around. There is so much content that thankfully they left behind. I could listen to it over and over and over. The yang water of their hour is the kind of creativity that is innovative and different, and kick the door down, run barefoot with scissors down a different path in life, to be revolutionary and a rebellion. I love that. And the dragon, the dragon in and of itself is mystical, magical, and otherworldly. and is an invitation to paint a rainbow in whatever your craft is, to lead, to inspire, to create magical wonder. And for their Bazi, it is the birthing. It's the mother element, yang earth, for them. So in a lot of ways, when I looked at this, what I was seeing is Andrea was the mother that birthed a revolution of poetry and written word. Tucked inside the dragon is money and love and a hidden illness. Could also be seen as a hidden struggle, a hidden stress, and also the impetus of creativity that is rooted in joy, rooted in a love of what they are creating and doing. So that luck cycle, again, 2014, when they were really, I think, probably well into their career. I think it began in the 2000s, but I'm not entirely sure. And it's interesting. The diagnosis came in August of 2021, and that was a yang fire monkey month, very explosive when you put fire and metal together. And the fire is not something we've seen in their chart before. And yet, you know, we weave in and out of our days, we weave in and out of hours, months, years, when the element that's missing or needed in our charts can show up. But the way that the body responds can be very interesting. This is all about, that month in particular is about their responsibilities, their work, their home, their family. And the monkey is seeing themselves in a new way. Suddenly your sense of self is shifted. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? It's about a hidden change coming and the birthing of something. The mother, the maternal. That particular year was a yin metal ox. And again, those are the two elements we really wanted to see, earth and metal. And except that particular year fueled in their chart an ocean of water, so that all the benefit is lost. And this was a time, again, of really looking at, who am I? What am I doing here? And who are my people? Who are my allies? Where's my audience? The ox is all about faith, spirituality, your helpers. It's how you teach, how you learn, how you inspire, and how you are inspired. And then we also see there's so many aspects to this that are about creativity and the understanding of the self. Now, that particular luck cycle, 2014 to 2024, was not about money. It was not about relationships. It was not about anything other than the mother archetype, so strong, the goddess archetype, so strong, and how, again, I keep coming back to the mother birthing the work she was doing. And that decade was all about the joy of expression and creation. Then we jump to the current lux cycle that had just begun in January 2024 of a yin earth ox, double yin earth. And this is a time that, you know, they only had for a year and a half, really. It was all about connection to spirit, to faith. And they were surrounded by angels, guides, and guardians in this last year and a half. It was all about the spiritual path for them. And tucked into the earth is their themselves and their creative expression. Their passing, and again, we come to this year 2025, the yang fire of the snake, I think, was an aggravation because without having had fire in their chart before, I think it might have been a challenge to suddenly have this heat come in. It feels aggravating, is what it feels like. Sorry, my hand was falling asleep. All right. So the day they passed was a yang wood monkey day, a yin water sheep month, and a yin wood snake year. And the snake and the sheep, I know, make fire. There is this feeling of a lot of heat. And again, this semi-fire penalty that is in our collective and manifested in their Bazi as well. There is this sense of overwhelming wood energy, fire, and the fire penalty itself. And again, we aren't all meant to be here for a long time. Yeah. In the last 5 years, grief has changed me and my life. I know for many people it might be so. It's part of the reason I took this trip. I had to leave everything behind. I had to go out on a pilgrimage. Andrea was diplomatic, strong communicator, incredible creative expression, sensitive, compassionate, adaptable, organized, a planner, tough with her viewpoint. Loyal and true, somebody that you could lean on hard. An authority, someone with an emotional response to things that may have put others off, and good for them, because we need that. We need people who give us different voices, different narratives, different perspectives. And did not want to be told what to do. A natural leader. And so I wanted to close with a little something. And I really appreciate their partner, Megan Falley, of 7 years plus, their emails that have come in, and their own writing, just so beautiful. Wow. So, little something from Andrea before we leave. They said, Before I die, I want to be somebody's favorite hiding place. The place they can put everything they need to, I'm sorry, let me start over. Before I die, I want to be somebody's favorite hiding place. The place they can put everything they know they need to survive. Every secret, every solitude, every nervous prayer. And be absolutely certain I will keep it safe. I will keep it safe. I'm releasing this on the week of their birthday. Breathe with me. Let's take a deep breath into the belly. Lift it to your radiant heart through the grief of lungs and let it go. 2 more of those. Breathe into your belly, into your radiant heart. Grief of lungs. Hold. Release. 1 more time. Belly, heart, lungs. Hold. Release. Thank you so much. I welcome your comments. Follow Andrea Gibson's poetry. It is something. It will change you. It changed me. Be well.